This is CryptoTalk.
And our special guest is Whalebone from the Whalebone Intergalactic Cafe Banco, where you can buy crypto and get a damn good latte. I've actually had the lattes. They're great.
Yeah, they are pretty good. We used to have fresh goat milk lattes too.
I've stopped drinking milk.
So the question...
Goat milk is better.
I don't know,
Easier
guys.
to digest.
I gotta tell you, it's like I just stopped eating processed food. Like, I don't eat meat anymore. I'm not eating chicken. I'm not eating fish.
It's not a diet show.
I'm strictly on a plant-based diet.
So the question of the hour is, Ethan, how we get the money into the crypto? We you go on to Coinbase, or you can maybe tell us some other places where you put money in. How do you get the money out?
I got a question, because here's the thing. I'm thinking I'm going to make $1 million in the next 6 months, right? So I make $1 million, and I'm like, I want to take $500,000 out and buy a house. How do I take $500,000 out in one shot to go buy a house? Or do I walk up to them and go, do you have a wallet I can send you $500,000 to?
There are more and more real estate transactions occurring with Bitcoin, so you can do that. It wouldn't be the first, and that would be the cheapest way. That would be the best route. But you can just go through Coinbase. You can send your Bitcoins to Coinbase, and I'm sure there's... What's that?
Don't they have a limit of what you can pull out?
I'm sure they do. That's their game. But you can just play along, and $15K a week or whatever they let you do, you can do that. Or you can find somebody who has a boatload of cash and a boatload of crypto, and they're willing to act as an inter-exchange for you. There's going to be more and more people like that. I think Vegas may be the place to go for that.
That makes
Vegas
sense.
is getting into crypto.
But then if I go to Vegas, then I got to pay a higher tax on the money.
Well,
because
not
Vegas
if you do
is winning. It's not an investment.
Yeah, no, you're always obligated to call your friendly tax office and let them know all that you've liquidated. You're supposed to do that, but in theory, you don't have to. And if you found somebody who had a bunch of cash and they wanted some Bitcoin anonymously, you could run your Bitcoin through a coin mixer. And
let's start this over, because this might be an issue for YouTube, where we would be able to get
True, that's money laundering.
Yeah, that's basically money laundering.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Cool.
I stand for free economies.
I heard that it's really hard to use Bitcoin or cryptocurrency to pay for a house. Like, I just talked to a friend that said he knew about a transaction where they both wanted to use cryptocurrency, but neither one could agree to the price, the exchange rate of the currency, because it's so volatile.
Well, ultimately, the exchange rate's a moot point, especially if you're cashing out. But I could see how people would want to leverage that and say, well, it was probably the buyers saying that their Bitcoin was worth more than it actually is. And the reality is the Bitcoin is only worth what the day-to-day exchange rate is. So if they had they couldn't come to an alignment on the exchange rate, that's their own bad. But all currencies have an exchange rate, and most people trade their homes regardless of what the British pound is trading the U.S. dollar for. But in theory, it would behoove you to make transactions on certain days so that you could buy more foreign currencies. And if your wealth is in Bitcoin, ideally you want to make transactions that wouldn't be throttled by third parties. So I don't know. I think there is there's probably a dearth in the market of cryptocurrency brokers when it comes to large scale transactions, because most people, when it comes to large sums of crypto, they just want to hold that. It would be very hard to get me off my crypto bags, very hard. Once crypto hoarding sets in, we don't talk about that, but it's a real thing. And you're a crypto hoarder when you start to question your spending of dollars on things you used to buy normally. And I know you're going through that already. And Mustang, you have that to look forward to. And Kenny, you as well. Once you start putting more money in, you all of a sudden go, once you make your first 1,000% gain, you go, boy, I'm not buying potato chips anymore. To think that a bag of potato chips is going to cost you $5,000, the chips just aren't worth it. You may go on less dates. I mean, is there anything worth your cryptocurrency? Crypto is a very special thing. So it's hard to move off the crypto once the bug gets you.
Especially if you're getting into crypto right now, I can't stress it enough. If you buy into a $100 billion coin,
I mean, the most you're probably going to make is 500%. That means the coin is worth 500 billion.
Can you?
So if you're buying, what?
I'm sorry. No, I cut you off. Finish what you were saying.
If you're buying a
$100 billion coin or a $10 billion, $20 billion coin, I mean, those coins are just, they have a pretty high value. So it would take a lot of money to have them move. The strategic game, and when you go onto websites and they say, Crypto Genius Master Course, the Master Course to the Stars, all that BS, the most they could possibly do is tell you not to buy Bitcoin and you're better off buying one of these altcoins. But you really want to pick a coin where when it goes up $1, you make $100,000. And you can afford to buy yourself 100,000 of some of these coins because they're 5 cents each. And if you do that with enough coins, or you get lucky, you'll have the experience of making hundreds of thousands of dollars in a few hours to a few days.
That's insane.
Yeah,
and the question is, will you be able to sell? Will you be able to sell before it drops? Will you cash out? And will you cash out too soon? These are all the challenges of cryptocurrency. It's like trying to catch a snowflake falling from the clouds. Where will it land? You just don't know when that coin is going to go to the moon.
Whalebone, can you like run us through some good altcoin buying rules of thumb, like where the market cap should be in relation to circulation and price point?
Roger that. So, and I'll give you a few more key pieces. First thing is, I recommend buying coins under 40 million market cap. Okay, and that's because typically coins do hit 40 million. So grab coins under 40 million, grab good coins, and when I say good coins, you want to look for coins that have a website, an active developer, an announcement page, an active announcement page on Bitcoin Talk, and there are links to all of these on CoinMarketCap. You go to CoinMarketCap, click on the coin, it'll give you multiple links. The announcement page is actually where you'll get to everything, and then you'll also find out where they have a Discord chat thread or a Telegram thread, or can't think of the other site, but people will have people talk on a bunch of different sites, and you can get the really live data. So buy those coins. I recommend 10 to 20%, that volume should be 10 to 20% of market cap. And that basically means that if they're going to define the value of that coin at $100 million, there should be at least $10 to $20 million of trade on that coin. Then you'll find other coins like Dotcoin that are under 20 million that have $4 million a day in trade, which is just, that's 25%. That's just crazy. So even 5 to 10 isn't that bad. And if you look at triangles, triangles is an incredibly low volume, but I like that coin because I think it will have a higher daily volume. The other key thing that a lot of people won't tell you is that you want to make sure You found a good coin, and these coins are affectionately called shit coins. So you find yourself your golden shit coin, and you're going to make $1 million to $1 billion on it. Make sure the wallet works. Make sure the wallet works, because sometimes the developers are full of it, and there are scam artists out there who release crap coins that don't actually work and they fall apart. This is not as much of a problem as it was back in 2014 when we were in the shitcoin craze era, where 80% of coins were dead within a week. People were just pumping and pre-mining. A pre-mine is where the developer gets all the coins and says, I will use these coins for very benevolent purposes. I swear I will. And then all of a sudden they're gone. There was a big Bitcoin sell on the market, and everybody goes, oh, we just got scammed. So now what we have is the ICO scare. So you want to make sure that your that your ICOs are legitimate. Do they actually have legitimate technology? Is there something new about it? Is this just a website that somebody needs to build? Does it really need to be blockchain? That's what I do. I mean, does it really need to be blockchain? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And people just try to jam everything into the crypto space because it's hot right now, and that's where the bubble starts. Because we really don't need this many blockchains. Truly, we don't need as many blockchains as exist. And I think magically the number is going to be somewhere around 200. That the rest of them are just will have much lower volume, or that we'll have a key group that represent a bulk of the transactions, and the rest are just extra niche avant-garde coins, that people create or hold on to for novelty purposes. Like Bill Murray coin. There's a Murray coin. There was a Blade coin. There's a lot of goofy coins that people, not Ross Perot, but I forget his name.
How about Coffee Coin?
Coffee coin?
Coffee? How about it? I don't know. What's that even at? Where are you looking at that on Cryptopia?
I'm actually on CoinMart.
Yeah, I mean, to me, a coffee coin. Why do you have coffee coin? Well, we want to advance coffee trading. Well,
it's at a fraction of a penny.
Yeah, you don't need a coffee coin for that. You just need a Litecoin. You just have transactions. There's tons of blockchains for it. But coffee coin, I think they'd be better off naming the coins after people, so that you know how you go to a rest stop and you can get a keychain with your name on it.
Yeah.
There's actually more people probably that would sign up for Bob coin. There was a Bob coin at once, but if all the Mikes of the world bought the Mike coin, and I mean that's sort of what the coffee coin is. It's just a different name on the same thing, and coffee coin would definitely be considered a shit coin. It's a shit coin until it has a very special, new purpose, novel solution to an economic issue. For instance, here's a very interesting coin, Flutter coin. You can find Flutter on Cryptopia, and as far as I know, it's the only coin that does this. They have what they call proof of spend. That's how they secure the network. They call it proof of spend, and the way that works is you actually get paid every time you spend your money, which is a very interesting way to structure an economy. And imagine if every time you spent money at the grocery store, they gave you a % back in cash. Not because you bought the right stuff on the right day or you're a member of their club, but just because you use the US dollar. Imagine if everybody got $500 US every month just for being a US citizen. That's sort of what Flutter is experimenting with, that just holding the coin and using it is going to pay you. And that's how all proof of stake coins work at the end of the day. And they just go about rewarding people for doing different things.
Wow.
Interesting.
They're active. They're active on Twitter, so that's good.
Yeah,
People, you probably won't realize it until you'll either catch the wave or not. Cryptopia is where all the action's at right now. Cryptopia, to me, is the most undervalued cryptocurrency exchange, and it has been for years. Right now, Cryptopia is getting around 100,000 new users a week, and they just passed the 1.4 million user mark. So they're having some throughput issues, but just keep trying to get on if you're not on yet. Bittrex is pretty locked up, but I know of somebody who was able to get on to Cryptopia last week.
Are you issuing and selling coins? Like, are you?
Yeah. So what I do locally, we have our 4 coins that we have our substantial holdings of, which is basically 1 to 10% of their given economies, and because we hold that much, we're able to get enough from mining rewards that we can then redistribute as a not bank financial institution, not member FDIC. We can make loans to people and fulfill certain functions that were only exclusive to banks in the past. So we have coins that we airdrop, that we distribute, and that we do sell for 1/2 to 1/3 of their current market value, and that's for people here in Detroit who are getting into crypto. We'll give them basically, we offer them 100% guaranteed gains, and we do that at the time of purchase because they get the coins from us at half price. Even at half price, we're covering our cost, and we believe we're expanding the network by getting the coin into new market participants' hands, and we're doing it in a way that guarantees them a return on their investment.
So Ethan, let me ask you a question. If I wanted to create a coin, kind of like a movie making coin, where you invest and I take your money and go make a movie, how does that work?
A few different ways you can work that, but you wouldn't want to make your own blockchain. That's just a waste of electricity. That's a perfect use case example for CryptoTalk or Counterparty or NXT or even an Ethereum ICO. Although I would utilize something like Counterparty or NXT. CryptoTalk isn't online yet, but you would basically issue your own asset. And I was talking to somebody else about an entrepreneurial coin, and you basically decide what your 10-year worth is or your 1-year worth is. You decide what you want to fundraise. This is your crowdfund, and you're going to do it in a certain number of increments. Let's just say your company's worth $1 million. You would want to sell no more than 500,000 of them to retain ownership of your token. You may be willing to go further than that because maybe you're going to have your first movie. You're going to say, listen, we need $1 million for our first movie, so we're going to sell every token at $1. But where it gets interesting is you can actually pre-sell to people with the agreement that they're going to get a portion of your returns from making that movie. So when you go out and you crowdfund a movie, you get your investors in, you sell them digital shares, and then at some point you put the digital value of that movie, you take its value in US dollars, and you buy a bunch of Bitcoin, and you distribute those Bitcoins to all your shareholders. And it really gets interesting when you buy your Bitcoin at below value. Or let's say that you do your crowdfunding and buy Bitcoin immediately before you even start your movie, and you hold a certain amount of Bitcoin throughout the filming of your movie. In theory, you can pay back if the market continues to expand and people continue to invest in Bitcoin after you've done your fundraising in Bitcoin, you'll actually amass much more money than was ever possible with US dollars. And the shares of that movie are completely transferable among people even before the movie's finished. You could have people who buy into your movie and then decide they want to cash out. And instead of them going to you and saying, I want my money back, you can just say, hey, go and sell your shares. And by that point, the shares of your movie may have gone up because you've done some trailers and it's gaining in popularity. So the easiest way to do that is probably with a token like NXT or Counterparty or Ethereum.
And is it hard to create that?
There is a bit of a barrier for a lot of people, and if the technology is a barrier, or if there aren't enough people who are coming out of the woodwork and saying, "Hey, I'm a developer and I do asset issuance." Let's say the new banker is the coder who specializes in ERC20 tokens. That's a total possibility. The really easy way the poor man fundraising on the blockchain is that you just get a Bitcoin address. And you tell investors, if you want to invest in my movie, send Bitcoin to this address. And the agreement there is that whatever amount of Bitcoin, whatever fraction that is of the total amount that was sent to you, that's the percent stake share that person has ownership of your movie. You don't have to use an asset coin to do that. You don't have to have an ICO to do what you're talking about. In fact, you really just need a Bitcoin. And your Bitcoin address is a representation of all of your shareholders. And they're represented by the address that your Bitcoin was sent from. And everybody sent you some fraction of the total amount that was sent to you. And that's their ownership of the profit.
And the record of all of that would be in the ledger of the address.
Yeah, and you could say, hey, listen, we're going to pre-sell 50% of our movie. So no matter how much money is sent to this address, you're going to get 50% of our profit. And that way, you get to keep your 50% of your movie. That's just part of the agreement, that people are willing to invest into your movie. And the more money they invest, in theory, the better movie they're going to get. And you may even make an agreement where, hey, listen, we only want to raise $100 million. Only $100 million. So everything over $100 million, we're going to devote to the Harambe Fund. Never forget. And who knows what we invest in, but you could have a movie that then takes its own profit and declaratively does this before the movie's even made. And if a movie got behind a philanthropy that inspired people, guess what? They're going to go to see your movie even if it is a piece of shit. Just because they know that a percent of your profit is going to go to their favorite charity, or it's going to free Shamu.
Free Shamu, yeah.
You're all about that, aren't you?
I'm about that, man. How much would it cost? I'll write the crypto check today, but I don't think I have enough yet. I actually think whale incarceration is something out of this world. Maybe there's just something about mating whales that really our keepers get off on, and they just keep whales in addition to their human collection, and they entertain us with their whale collection. But it's sad. It's so sad. And I want to see a frat boy's eyes bleed from diving to the bottom of Tillicum's SeaWorld and getting, I don't know, what would I would put beer pong. That's it, beer pong.
We could play beer pong
with ping pong cups and little metal balls, and you just drop them down, and they, MTV. We can make more money with MTV at SeaWorld than we can with the whales. Seriously, it's just an old industry.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't take my kids because they're gonna ask me questions and I'm not gonna know how to answer. They're gonna be like, "Daddy, why is that whale in that f***ing cage?" It's like, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And do you know, you've seen Blackfish, right? You've seen that movie Blackfish.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh my goodness. of all the innocent young lives of sea mammal trainers. I mean, those beautiful, precious lives lost. But you don't mess with the killer whales. They will drag you and drown you.
They're so smart. It's like smart. Like the Blackfin, that documentary was crazy. But since this is crypto talk and not
oh yes,
we are gonna go ahead and wrap this one up with it's like, let's buy crypto and buy SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do that. But this is not financial advice and should not be taken as financial advice. But I personally,
we'll do one. We'll shoot at one time, just straight to camera, guys. This is it's like, what you see here is entertainment only, you know.
So I don't have to keep saying.
So you don't have to keep saying it every time we do this.
Ethan.